Hey there! Welcome to the last part of the course. This time we are going to create our design. Guys, when designing a card, it's not necessary to design the whole card. That's to say, its content is symmetrical. So there's a symmetrical line dividing the card into two sections. So we just need to design one of the sections and copy the design in the other one. Therefore, it's important that the dividing line is well centered. Keep adjusting until it's properly placed. Make sure it adjusts to the guides we made previously. That's the reason why we made them, right? So that we're going to use them to create the elements now. Cool. Let's start with our Santa. First, I'll insert general lines and then include the details. I'll begin with a hat and use a rectangle to insert the general lines. To round the corners, click on Direct Selection, click and drag until all of them are round. Then I'm going to use the pen tool that we were talking about before and create the beard and face. So, create a rectangle and round the corners. Hide the grid and the sketch layers from time to time and check how your design is going. For the moment, it's quite easy, so I'll display this part in fast motion so that you can see how I created the general lines. Okay, so I've drawn the main strokes. As you can see, these are just general lines that outline our drawing and will guide us when adding details. To do this part of the dress and the arm, I'm going to use the Symmetry Line to keep the same inclination. So select the rectangle and drag it while holding Shift. This way it moves 45 degrees at a time. So press Alt at the same time to duplicate it. Great. Now we can use the Direct Selection tool, select, and hold Shift to move the duplicate and modify the arm's width. See? So with Shift, I can modify the arm's width. I can put it here or there to make it wider or narrower. Let's add now an anchor point here and another here. That's it. and remove the original anchor points on the left. It delimits the elbow, you see? It's the end of the elbow. And it only remains defining the other end of the arm. To do so, let's duplicate again the symmetry rectangle and rotate it by pressing O, which is the Reflect tool. My purpose here is maintaining in all the diagonal lines the same angle that the symmetry rectangle. It doesn't apply to the hair since I'll make it wavy. By doing this, we'll get a really cool effect, but you'll see. Keep working, okay? Okay, well, we're now done with the general lines. So I'm going to select all the strokes and increase their width by 1 point. Also select round caps and corners. Okay, perhaps 2 points width is too much, so I'm going to lower it to 1.5 points. Well, and now I'm ready to start adding texture. First, I'm going to draw a line here in the hat, like that. And now, between the edge, the border of the hat, and this line, I'm going to insert a sort of like waves, resembling something fluffy. It's like a zigzag, a fluffy zigzag. So, go to Effect, Distort, and then Distort, which is here. Okay, here, zigzag. Great. Check the preview box. And within the zigzag options panel, we can modify the size by moving the slider on or the ridges per segment. We can also decide if we want it smooth or corner. I like this, and I'm going to choose here an odd number for the ends. So once created, duplicate the zigzag until filling up this part of the hat. That's it. In the same way, we are going to use different brushes in this area. Let's create one of them, okay? So, insert a circle first. And within the stroke property panels, select a butt cap. Why? Let's see what happens when the brush has round caps. See, as we cannot use a negative spacing value, there's a gap between each element. That's why it's better to select a bad cap. Oh, I can't find it. Okay, hope it works now. Now? Okay. In this case, I'm going to duplicate it so that you can see the difference. So I'm going to use, for this part of the dress, I'm going to use this pattern, okay? This one. And now just keep adding detail. I'm going to create another pattern simulating the top of a castle's tower. Insert a square and duplicate it. Have a look. The squares have round caps, so be careful. Let's change it. Well, no. Well, actually, it's the corner what is round. Now delete the superior side of the first square and the inferior and right ones of the second one to create this sort of shape. Okay, change the corners. However, with these parameters, it may happen something like this. So, to completely fill the corner, select the projecting cap option. Perfect. Now I'll drag the pattern to the swatches panel. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see. Perfect. Now I'm going to do something similar to what I did in the hat, but using different patterns. Well guys, I'll display this part in fast motion. See you now. Okay, Let's use the blend tool to create the beard. So I'm going to draw this line in the middle. Make sure you don't insert the anchor point directly in the outline. Add it separately and then adjust it until creating a hair. Then select this half. We can do it both by cropping it or by using the direct selection tool. After that, cut and paste with Ctrl F to keep the same position. Now select the half and the hair and go to Object, Blend and Make. Go again and in the Blend options, set the number of specified steps to 6. It should work. However, this weird thing may happen to you because the Blend option tries to imitate the curve. To fix it, isolate the blended element. How are we going to do it? Simply by just double-clicking and correct the stroke's direction with a pen tool. See? Duplicate this half and rotate with the Reflect tool. And adjust. We can also modify one side and duplicate again. Like that. Okay. Let's make the mustache. For the mustache, I'm going to make a sort of S-like shape and then curve it. Delete this part, okay. Now just duplicate it and place the duplicates. Here more or less under the nose. Then go to Object, Blend and Blend options. Once here, select the number of specified steps you want. This time, each step will correspond to each mustache hair. Duplicate and reflect with the Reflect tool, or the shortcut O. And now we only need to draw the 2 remaining hairs of the middle. That will have a different shape. They are not that curved. I'm using yellow so that we can distinguish it from the rest. Duplicate and press O to reflect. After that, remove the color. To create the superior line, we cannot do this since the blend option is still activated and we would expand it. So simply draw a line and link the elements. Keep in mind that it doesn't belong to the same object. Do the same for the inferior part. And guys, this is the reason why I didn't want to expand the mustache. The nose isn't exactly in the middle of the face. It's slightly set to the left. Therefore, the mustache should be longer in one side than in the other. So I'm going to make it longer on the right. After lengthening the mustache, we need to modify some parameters in the Blend Options panel, because the longer side has the same steps than the shorter. Let's move on to the hair. I don't really like the zigzag effect, so I'm going to change it a little bit. Go to Objects and select Expand Appearance. Then use the guides and drag them downward to smooth the zigzag. Duplicate it and blend it. Object, Blend and Make. Then go to the Blend options and specify the number of steps. For the eye, I'm going to use the Ellipse Tool. I want to draw a really tired Santa, exhausted after being up all night before Christmas. So, as I said, use the Ellipse Tool to create this effect. Let's watch the rest in fast motion.